What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. First of all, I hope you're all doing well. Now today we are going to be taking a look inside a celebrity's private car collection. We do this once a week, every Sunday. And the way it works is all you have to do is comment down below the name of a celebrity you'd like us to cover. And next week we'll take the most recurring name. Now last week a bunch of you commented to see Drake, so that's exactly who we're going to be covering today. A man who needs absolutely no introduction, singer, songwriter, producer. He's done so many things. He's done a bunch of acting as well. Very, very successful man, also known as Champagne Papi on Instagram. Now, his estimated net worth on Google is between 180 to 200 million dollars. I personally think it's probably a lot more than that. Very hard to know. You can never really realistically know. But considering he's just got in a plane that some people estimate to be worth 180 million dollars alone, seems like his net worth would probably be a little bit higher than that. Basically, long story short, the man is extremely wealthy and he's used some of that wealth on some really rather tasty cars. So we're going to be going over that today, and we're going to start with his luxury cars. Now, like a lot of these rappers, singers, actors, businessmen in America, about 10 years ago, the thing to have was a Maybach. Now, Maybach has since changed and kind of just become a trim level for the luxurious Mercedes. But back then, even though it wasn't that long ago, it was completely different. Maybach was its own standalone brand, owned by Mercedes, but they had their own models. They had two models, the 57S, the 62S, being basically an extended, longer version of the 57S. Now, absolutely stunning. These are obviously worth a lot of money back in the day, $350,000 to $400,000. Now, that's a lot of money in anyone's book, but if you adjust that for inflation as well, in today's money, it's a ton. Anyways, they're not worth that much anymore. They got hit pretty hard with depreciation, but Drake was actually rolling around in the 62S for quite a while. So he was seen in several different ones, but this one that we see in the video is the one he was seen in the most, showing up to an event. So we presume this was his and wasn't a rented car. Clearly, Maybach is something that he enjoyed. He's since bought himself a Mercedes G-Wagon 650 Maybach Landaulet. Now, Landaulet is a name that they actually use as well on the 62S. They had a version which was convertible just for the rear passengers, because that's who you focus on in a Maybach. And they've taken this concept and applied it to the G-Wagon based on the 6x6 platform or 4x4 squared. So the raised G-Wagon platform. It's a massive, massive thing. V12, 650 horsepower, only 99 produced worldwide, worth close to the $1 million mark. Very, very rare, very expensive. And everything's focused around those rear passengers with a divide to the driver in the front, business class type seats in the back, and the ability to take the roof off. Really, really cool car. I was lucky enough to actually embark on a road trip in one of these to Sweden in the winter, where we had the roof off in minus 15-degree temperatures, and the car kept us perfectly comfortable. So awesome thing. Drake has one of these. So as you can tell, he's already got taste for the luxurious, more expensive things in his garage. Yet another Mercedes Maybach is the S-Class Pullman. Now, we don't have any photos of him with this car, photos or videos, but there were so many articles claiming that one of the Pullmans went to Drake's car collection. So I'm putting it in here. Can't confirm it 100%, but would be cool, and it seems like it's his kind of car. It's effectively a limousine version of the Mercedes S-Class Maybach. So inside, rather than having two seats in the back, you've got four now, two smaller seats that you can kind of fold down, and they've got TVs as well in them, or you can sit in the business class type seats, similar to what Drake will have in his G650. I mean, how do you decide what to take at this point? You've got a 62S, Pullman, G650. When you want to be comfortable, you've basically just got all the best cars in the business for it. Now, he's also got a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Just in case you can't decide which Maybach you want, you've got a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Not any Phantom, the latest Phantom, the Phantom 8, also modified by Mansory. It's called the Bushukan Phantom by Mansory. So Mansory is a company which effectively tune, they modify cars, but they have the tendency to take the cars from the most luxurious brands out there. They've worked with Bugatti, they've worked with Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls, Bentley, all of the high-end stuff. And they add a very particular look. Now, It's not for everyone. I have to admit, I'm not sure I would do this to my Rolls Royce or Bugatti or whatever it may be if one day I were lucky enough to have one of these cars. But it's quite something, that's for sure. I mean, and a lot of work goes into it. It's extremely expensive to have this done to your car. Phantom Mate to start with is hugely expensive, $500,000, $600,000. Now the kit is probably worth $200,000 to $250,000, $300,000. So really, really expensive to put this on your car. How do I know this was his? Well, basically Drake showed up as a surprise at one of Tyler, the Creator's concerts, and backstage there was this Rolls-Royce Phantom 8, which Tyler, the Creator, said was not his, so naturally was probably Drake's. Completely tuned by Mansouri, full kit, outside, inside. Now on the outside, they've completely redone the front of the car, they've redone the back, for example. Usually you have these really subtle dual exhaust tips. Now you've got these more aggressive quad tips. The whole front end's been just completely redone, 24-inch wheels. Now they say it helps with the aerodynamics. Who cares, to be honest, if it's more aerodynamic, as long as it's comfortable. Now the 24-inch wheels probably make it a little less comfortable than it would have been originally. But they've redone a bit on the interior as well. And yeah, I mean, it's very particular, it certainly stands out, and it's certainly a statement of wealth, which, does Drake need to state that anymore at this point? I mean, the guy's literally got an airplane with his name on the side of it. Everyone knows he's financially stable. In case the message didn't get across by the time you've got your 3 Maybachs pulled up, your tuned Phantom 8, why don't you throw a few Bentleys in there so that people really understand quite how wealthy you are. Awesome. Bentleys in the collection for Drake. He started off with a Continental GT Super Sports, which was a hardcore, lightened version of the Bentley Continental GT. Top of the range, most expensive, looks cool. You can kind of tell it apart from that more beefy front end. W12, which was the only option back then on the first Continental GTs, but then when the facelift came across, it was offered with a V8. Drake picked one of these up and actually used it in his Started From the Bottom video. A white Bentley Continental GT C V8, GTC meaning it's the convertible version of the GT, C standing for convertible or cabriolet. Awesome looking thing. And another third Bentley to line things up properly is the Bentley Mulsanne. So kind of the rival from Bentley towards Rolls-Royce and their Phantom. Bentley Mulsanne is the 5-door luxury car in the Bentley lineup, whereas the Continental GT is the 2-door coupe. There's the Flying Spur, which kind of bridges the gap between the two, but Drake directly went for the most expensive, the most luxurious, and had it finished in white, which looks really, really cool. That's it for the luxury cars. Basically, anything you can dream of in the luxury car department, Drake has. Now for supercars, and hypercars actually, he's got quite a few of these. So, he's actually got a real connoisseur's car, a McLaren 675 LT. This is a limited edition, lightened and slightly more powerful version of the 650S. So the 650S, as the name indicates, has 650 horsepower. 675 LT, they've bumped that up to 25, brought it to a total of 675 horsepower out of a twin turbocharged V8, which is used in basically all of the McLarens. Now the LT stands for long tail. They've made the car slightly longer at the back, kind of as an homage towards the historic F1, but also to help with the aerodynamics of the car. Limited to 500 coupes and 500 spiders worldwide, without counting the carbon editions and 688 MSO editions. It's an extremely rare car and a real connoisseur's piece, and one of, I think, the best McLarens ever produced. So really cool to see Drake having one of these in the collections, and he gets some really, really cool cars. Now he didn't stop there. McLaren, he continued, but this time it is a collaboration between McLaren and Mercedes with the SLR Roadster. So he didn't go for the 722, he got the standard, if you can ever call it that, SLR Roadster. This is a V8 twin turbo as well, slightly more beefy, kind of AMG sounding V8. Really rare car, extremely expensive. These are around 350,000 euros when they came out. Came down all the way to about 150, but now I've been shooting back up way over the 200,000 euro mark. Awesome looking cars. Hypercar royalty back in the day and still today. I mean, competing with the Carrera GT and the Enzo. They haven't appreciated quite as much as those, but they're on their way and eventually they'll be worth an absolute fortune. So a good one for Drake to keep in the collection. Now a slightly less arguably classy car than these is the Lamborghini Aventador Roadster. Now this seems to